Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. This is the Spicy Pecan Podcast.
Have you ever had a dream that you could do so you could.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Spicy Pecan Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the very first video podcast that I'm going to be doing, and super excited, a little nervous, not used to being, upfront in this way. My first big step was even doing the podcast. I feel like I kind of got that pretty much down. But a lot of people have been requesting video. I know it's the wave, so let me see, jump in and stuff like that. Couple disclaimers, okay? This is me. I am not going to be glammed out on this show. That's just not me. I'm not the glam girl. I'm wearing like a little purple flannel. We're going to keep it nice and regular, okay? Because that's just me. Another disclaimer, and sorry for the disclaimers, but you got to be very clear with my people, black and brown people, okay? Very clear. Another thing, I live on a very busy road, so I do apologize ahead of time for any noise disturbances and things like that. But like I said, people have just been telling me, you got to get on video, you got to get on video. So here we are on video. How you doing? All right. First, I want to thank every single person who has been supporting the show. I mean, listening in, making comments, private messaging me questions, calling me with questions, emailing, things like that. I had no idea how this was going to be. And what a blessing. What a blessing. I've had people say, wow, that episode really made me see something in a different light. Wow, that episode about addiction really hit me and kind of was a reality check for me. So that's what this is all about. That's what I wanted to do. And, in combination with learning as much as I can through other people, and getting over some of my fears, doing this. And, I did a couple little test records. I was already messing with my hair and my face. And I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. This is who you are, girl. So thank you so much for all the love, everybody. It is so appreciated, like seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I feel like I'm totally getting way more out of the show than everybody else. But it's just, I can't describe it in any other way than, being a blessing. So thank you for that. What do we have? We have an amazing show today. I got an opportunity to interview someone that I have been personally following for over a year. Her name is Cousin Can from CanbetheLight. She is a ball of energy, but more important, she is a genuine person. And she gets the opportunity in her job, in her walk, to help people as well, enlighten them on spiritual things, help people get closer to, their goals and dreams. There are a lot of things that are blocking us spiritually and energetically, that she speaks to. So it's really cool. She also does tarot reading and things like that. And I'm such a student of life. I think God is huge and expansive. So to not understand the, original study, the study of the stars, astrology and energy and things like that, I feel like is a disservice to yourself. So I'm so excited that she's going to be on the show. But I just wanted to, go over a couple of things like we typically do on the show. We're going to skip the news this week. There has absolutely been a lot going on, but the only thing that I would say is really the most important thing is making sure that you have registered to vote. In most states, registration is now closed, and that you go out and vote. If you were protesting this summer, if there are things that actually, you know what, just go and vote. If you were over the age of 17 in most states, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, vote. There are things that are going to affect you outside of the presidential election. There are local elections in New Jersey. They're voting on the school board, which we talked about last week. District attorneys and, all across the country, there's local elections going on. So just make sure you do your part. Get out and vote. It's super important. It's never been more important. So make sure, we're doing that. What else do we have? So I did want to get into this just one specific thing that Can actually touches on in the interview, but it's interesting because I kind of ran into two scenarios. You guys know I do these episodes every 2 weeks. Ran into two scenarios with two of my friends that were having a very similar issue. So I had two people call me and basically say that a friend, a family member, in them getting advice from them, totally discouraged them from doing two separate issues, but both actually having to do with housing, discouraging them from things that they really wanted. And my advice to both of them were the same. You have to walk your walk. You have to live your life. There have been so many people to tell me that there are certain things I can and cannot do, I shouldn't do, that is them. That's on them. That's them speaking their limitations into your life. You can't allow people to do that. Remember, advice is just that. It's advice. The only thing that your friends and family can really do for you, and I would even give this as a disclaimer when you're asking for advice. At the end of the day, the only thing I truly need from you is to not be judged. That's it. That's it. Whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, you don't like what I'm doing, you don't agree how I'm doing it, I just want to know that you're going to love me and not judge me. That's it. So we also need to remember that when people are coming to us, if whatever, oh girl, you shouldn't do that. Oh, don't think about, well, this happened with so-and-so. And don't limit people. Don't limit people's ideas. That feeling that you have inside of you, that little nudge that you get, that's coming from somewhere. That instinct is coming from somewhere. Now, obviously, if you get a nudge to, punch somebody in the face, probably not the best, but if it's a goal, if it's something that you're dreaming about, you want to buy a house, you want to move, you want to start this new job, and you ask people for advice, remember, they have not walked your walk. They're not living your life. No one's always going to agree with you. But you have to find the strength in yourself to really, really tune into that little nudge that you feel in your stomach, that little lump that you sometimes feel in your throat. That is your body. That is God talking to you. So, that was one of the biggest things. I heard this really cool quote from Brene Brown, if you don't know who she is. And see, this ain't going to work out well for me because I don't even know. My hair is just like, whatever. Brene Brown. So Brene Brown has this amazing quote. And what she says is, make sure that you live your life to the fullest so that you do not find yourself attempting to live your life through others, like your children specifically. So understand that when you're asking people from advice, the only thing they can pull from is their own experience. They don't really know what you're going to go through. You have to take that information and incorporate it in with what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and see how that jives. Not everything is going to jive for you, and that is okay. If you need permission right now to go out and live your dreams regardless of what somebody says about it, regardless of what people are going to think about it, I'm giving you permission. I've done it for myself many, many times. I have had so many different positions, so many different jobs. I've worked for huge companies, big companies, Verizon, Estee Lauder, Robert Half, these international huge companies. And I've worked for really, really small companies, mom and pop shops, family owned businesses. Listen, video man. What can I say? All right, so the point of that is I have reinvented what I want to do, who I want to be in this world many times. Many times. I see something I like and I just kind of take the leap. I guess that's a good part of being an Aquarius. I don't know if, a lot of people are like that, but people have always said, I really admire you for really wanting to do something and just going like this and doing it. And I've done it so many times, and I can tell you, every time I have feared something, every time I have had like this feeling like, oh, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I really want to do it, and I did it, never regretted it. Never ever regretted it. Ever. I mean, I really cannot think of a time where I was scared and I went after it and it completely just blew up in my face. I can't really say that I have. Have things always gone my way? Absolutely not. Do things go the way that your human mind, thinks that they will? No, absolutely not. But when you lean into the fear, that's where you need to be. You need to be in that area of fear. You're afraid of that for a reason. And I'm not saying go into a cage with tigers. Some stuff is common sense. But if you fear to, try to get that house on your own and you think that, oh, I got to have somebody else to do, you don't know. Or if you fear that new job, oh, could I actually do it? Well, why not try? If it's something that you really want to do it. Do it. So, I'll just leave you guys with, hear that? See? Favorite song. Really? I don't care, bro. I don't care. Why do I need to hear your favorite song? Why? It's so obnoxious. I saw somebody the other day, they literally had, this is probably like 3 weeks ago, but they actually had a speaker, like a big, auditorium style speaker in their back seat, just so that they can play me their favorite song while they're driving by. I mean, not me specifically, anybody, but it's obnoxious. It's incredibly obnoxious. But yeah, I'll leave you guys with this. Don't be afraid to be brave enough to follow your gut. And the interview with Can is going to get into that. There were times where people didn't always understand what she was doing. And you'll see. And I consider her to be, very successful. And I have no doubt that she is going to continue to be successful because she's just completely genuine and she follows that little voice inside. So, wishing you guys the best. I hope you enjoy this episode. So I want to introduce my guest today. We got cousin Can from Can Be the Light. Yes, and if you guys have been somehow under a rock, Can Be the Light is an online platform that assists with spiritual growth, knowledge of self, and most notably tarot readings. And we'll plug all the things that you got going on towards the end. But I wanted to first thank you for joining the show. I am a huge fan. I've been following you on my personal page for at least a year. And a lot of people close to me, they were so excited about this interview. I'm like, no, I'm not taking your questions. This is my interview.
Right. It's my man. Do he love me?
Exactly. So, I just want the audience to get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? How did you grow up?
I am from Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, not Kansas City, Kansas. Okay, because in Kansas City that's a big thing. Okay, not Kansas. It's Kansas City, Missouri. Even though it makes no sense, but it's two Kansas cities. So anyway, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, born and raised. Okay, and a lot of people know, especially like if you watch the channel, I always talk about how I come from the hood where they do the most good. Okay. So I grew up very, very humble beginnings, okay? And I appreciated it. Now that I'm older, I appreciated the experience, or I appreciate, excuse me, the experience, because it really developed me into, the woman that I am now. So, yeah, I'm in Atlanta now. I just relocated about a month ago. So I've been here, and it's different living in the burbs.
Yeah, yeah. I still have
It's
yet to go
different.
to Atlanta, but I always hear amazing things. Everyone has to visit
Yeah,
at least once. There's so much going on, so much good, for us going on
it
out there.
is. It's so motivating. It is so motivating. I mean, every day I get up, I'm thinking about what's the next move, because you just see people that are just winning down here, and
Yeah.
they are young. Okay, a lot of, of course, Black people down here too that are doing very well. And like I said, where I come from, I don't see that. I never, came up around successful people, or, even to, see, people that's my age and 30 driving around in Teslas. I'm like, girl, how you get in that Tesla, girl? What you
Tell
doing?
me.
You selling dope down here? So, I love it though. It's very inspiring. It is very inspiring.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how did you originally get called to the work that you do? Like reading and just kind of being like an intuitive.
Yeah. I don't know. I know when people ask me that question, they be looking for like so spooky ooky answer, but I don't have one. I don't have one. I went through a series of changes in my own personal life, major changes. I was in a relationship for a long time, 15 years. I talk about that
Yep.
too on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided not to get married, okay, even though a lot of people thought I was crazy. I thought that it was something better out there for me. I just had the feeling that it was always something better. Like I was not tapping into, the best of me, and it doesn't matter what I did. Like, I went back and got several degrees and certifications and license, and, and been in this relationship and kids. And it's just like, something still's not right here. Okay. I don't feel so happy. And so, just being honest with myself, against, like I said, what other people thought, I was just real with myself. And I separated from my ex. I quit my job that I was on
Wow.
because I was working for it. So I saved up, my money, get my money together, quit my job. And for a minute, I wasn't working at all, and I was just like, listen, I got to do something. I got enough money saved. I think I had about 3 months worth of expenses saved up. And I said, well, I got to figure something out. But in the meantime, I was doing tarot at night. So I was working my day job and I was doing tarot at night, because I just, I wanted to learn more about it. Like a lot of people, just like, I want to see if I can do this. Like, it seems like it's something that I could do. And I love helping people anyway. It was something that I've always done. So it was like, okay, cool, So I started doing it. And I promise you, girl, when people started telling me what I was saying was right, I said, oh my God, is you for real? Is you for real? Girl, the first person paid me $50 for a reading, okay? I thought she was crazy. I was like, oh God, I'm going to get her money back. I don't know what I'm doing. And so, something in me was just like, just do it. And I just
Yeah.
heard, and it really is just an inner voice, Spirit sounds like your own voice, okay, that tells you just do it, just try it. And a lot of times we'll talk ourselves out of it, because like I said, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't come from this. I grew up in the church, okay? I didn't come from this. So it was just like, just try it, And once, I started getting a response back from people, they're like, Ken, like, oh my God, girl, how'd
Oh,
you know? I said, I don't know. I don't know how I know.
and
But,
that,
it just developed. So,
yeah,
yeah.
that actually leads me into my next question, because your personality is so big, and it's a lot different than a lot of the other readers. Like when you go onto the channel, it's like, and they talk like that, very
Yeah, right.
which I get that energy and the need for that energy, but someone like me,
Yeah.
I need you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To be like, what's up, cousin? Thank you for joining. You know what I mean? And it draws you in like immediately. So that answers my question.
I know.
You
But
didn't start off as
like,
comfortable.
no, but that's just me, period. Like when I worked on a job and I worked at the lab, I used to work in a lab. So when you come get your blood drawn, process specimens, I was the same way there. People love seeing me come to work. They be like, "Ken, come over here. I want you to come over here and sit next to me." Because they know I'm going to be talking about the supervisor. I'll be doing all kind of, laughing and cracking jokes all day because it just made the day go by, doing that. So I would be the one to put the potlucks together, like, "Hey y'all, let's have a party, or let's go meet at Bojangles or somewhere. I don't know, 54th Street, get some drinks." That's always been me. I love having a good time, and it doesn't have to be like going out to clubs and stuff like that. But I love laughing, of course, and I love seeing people happy. That makes me happy too. And I do it, and I'm not even conscious that I'm doing it, but I know that I'm doing it because people are like, "Girl, come here, come here."
Yep, very
So,
attractive energy.
it's just, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. Okay. Because I used to be very mean. A lot of people don't know that. I used to be very, very mean. Back when I was telling you that, I was living a life that I didn't really care for. Yes, I was grouchy. Very much so. My kids used to be like, "Damn, Mama, you yell about everything." But I did. I did. I used to yell about everything. "Who left this refrigerator door open? Shut the door, you stupid kids." I was so upset all the time. And then I made up in my mind that I did not want to be, an upset person. I didn't want to always have arguments and getting into it with my family and, falling out with friends and stuff. And I was like, okay, something is up here. Okay. So I really had to just look at myself. And I think especially, okay, I'll say this, okay, because I always can speak for myself, but I'll say this, especially for a lot of Black women, we have so much stress and so much pressure. Okay, not to say that other women don't, okay, because I love all my cousins now.
Right.
But definitely know that, with us, a lot of us are single mothers, teenage moms, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to figure it out, but we don't really have that guide. A lot of us, we don't know, what to do. So a lot of times we're just doing the best we can. And it's like, okay, well, listen, if I'm not happy, so what? I don't care. You know what? At least I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
So get out my face. And that's not how you live, That's not a productive life. So, it really takes some self-love, and paying attention to yourself. Like, dang, why did I just cut somebody out over the cheeseburger? I shouldn't have did that.
I mean, there's actually a lot of gems in that because the happier you were, the happier you were able to be, to the people around you. That's a life lesson that all of us can learn. Why are you always so irritated? It's coming from you. It's not necessarily the world around you or your current circumstances. Dropping gems. So
it's not.
That's actually a good segue because you had mentioned, previously you weren't really that happy when you weren't kind of walking in your destiny. Do you feel like you are now? Do you feel like the track that you were walking on your, in your destiny? I mean, I can see it obviously because of how big your energy is. To me, it couldn't possibly be that big and that infectious if it wasn't 1,000% genuine. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is so true. And I do. I feel like I am where I need to be. I am so happy and so satisfied that, I made those hard decisions. I am so glad that I made those choices. Even though some people may feel like, I was wrong, or I didn't do what was best for them. I did do what was best for me. And it led me to the place where I am now, because I always say that your path, people think that your path is just linear, like you just gonna walk out the door one day and you're gonna find the reason why you're here. It's like, no, because every single thing you do is a part of your path, So when I was working in the lab, I had to do that. That's why I know, how to people. I worked in, health. You have to be nice, and, you have to know how to care for people. So me caring for people is something that's natural. And plus I come from a family of nurses and, health women in healthcare. So that's just something that's in anyway. But I was like, everybody's in healthcare, but that don't mean that that's what I want to do. I want to do something else. But yes, that's true. I am happy. I cannot say that, it's not stressful, because it's stressful. It's very stressful.
I'm sure.
But it's like this. Yeah, but you know what? I feel like when you're doing what you came here to do, you have the strength to deal with the stress. When you're doing something that you're not here to do, it's like, you know what? I can't take this. And I ain't going to take this. I'm done.
Yeah.
So once you find your purpose, it's like, it's stressful, but you have the strength to keep going, and you know that you have to. It's not like something that you're doing just for money or just because, you know what I'm saying, how we get jobs, we just do things. It's like, no, this is my divine life purpose. So I'm so happy. I got the best job ever. I always say that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Have you ever scared yourself in one of your readings? Have you ever gotten scared about, any of the readings, or scared yourself?
No, I've been surprised though. I've definitely been surprised that that I have this gift, I guess. I surprised myself because, like I said, it's not something that I chose. Like I was a real estate investor. I was a life insurance agent. I was in healthcare. I did so many things that I thought was for me, but I never would have thought that it was going to be tarot, ever. And people are like, Ken, you got all this certification, girl. What the heck is you doing reading cards? Is you crazy? It just felt good to me. It felt like this. Like, it's like you come from a family of doctors and you go on to be an artist. They looking at you like, are you stupid?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a doctor. But I feel like that's why it's important for you to do what's best for you, because it may not be what's best for other people. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time it's not.
And I think one of the
it's some way less.
You actually, you made some very hard decisions to walk, in this direction. Like, not going with the safe route and just getting married and following those things that everyone tells you you're supposed to do. That had to have been, beyond stressful. And I'm sure you had to have that double talk with, like, what am I doing? Wait a second. Why do I feel like this? But the fact that you listen to that voice, that's huge. That's huge for a lot of us. We just don't.
Yeah.
We listen to our logical side. We don't always listen to our heart and our guts.
We don't.
So
we don't. It's like I say, Apostle Paul always talks about how we know what we're supposed to do, but that's not what we do. Something like that. Yeah, it's true. We always know what to do, but it's just, do we want to do it?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
It's supposed to know.
It's not always.
But no, I've never scared myself, but I do surprise myself all the time.
So what advice would you give someone that feels like, their dreams come true, or they kind of feel that bubbling of the voice? Because obviously we all have it in a way, because you teach people how to tap in. But what advice would you give someone if they were like, I kind of want to see if I want to try this? What would you say to them?
What, reading tarot?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I would suggest that you do the work on yourself first. I always say that because what's going to happen is, if you start reading tarot and you start, saying, okay, I want to help other people, but then you don't have your ducks in a row, it's going to go crazy for you, okay? Because everybody's going to start coming, especially if you're gifted and you just have all these people just start flooding in towards you. And they're like, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. And, your stuff is all over the place. Then it will be very difficult for you to help them. It will almost make you feel like, okay, am I going crazy? Okay, no, I can't, and you'll walk away from it. So I feel like, the things that we know we need to do in our own lives, We have to do those things first. Now, we'll still have challenges. I'm not going to ever say your life will be perfect, but you should do the best you can to make sure you're at peace in every area of your life, where it's your finances, your personal relationships, making amends with family members. You know what I'm saying? You walk this path of self-discovery first, and, it's kind of like how you turn the other cheek kind of a little bit, but not so much, okay? It's kind of like just cut people off. That's what I'll say. Yes, cut them out. Everything must go, okay? It's like a 50% off sale, okay? Everything fly off the shelf. Just get rid of everything that you know ain't supposed to be there. And then, you'll have the space to do it. You'll be free, because spirit, you got to be quiet. You have to know how to be quiet, because the voice of the divine is very still. It ain't going to yell at you. It ain't going to hit you upside your head like your mama used to hit you when you didn't listen. None of that, okay? It's very, very soft and still. So you have to be able to get still and quiet to hear the voice, So that's what I would say. And then I would say, go for it. Honestly, I feel like everybody should have some way to communicate with their spirit guides, because once you can do that, then you don't feel like you're lost in this life. And a lot of us feel like we're lost and we don't know what to do. So if you do have tools that have been around forever,
Right.
that you can use to, connect with your personal guides to get answers, you should do that. That's something that I feel like it should be a practice for everybody. You shouldn't have to go to somebody else to get the answer,
Right. And,
Yeah.
Like you said, been around forever, astrology and the teachings and the study around them, tarot reading and all of that. These studies these principles, these things have been around before anything. People were studying astrology before they knew anything. So knowing that, but also being raised in the church, that kind of duality, especially the areas that that you're from, how was that journey for you? Because I know personally, family members who do read or have certain gifts, that was a huge challenge for them to overcome and reconcile with themselves. How did you reconcile that?
Well, I still have a lot of, a lot of church in me, because I was raised in the church. So it's in you. I don't feel like it's something that you have to actually like give up. But I think there is a certain obligation that we don't neglect the truth for what we've been told. And I think that is what we do. We just kind of go with the flow. We're supposed to vote a certain way. We're supposed to live a certain way. We're supposed to believe a certain thing. And it just, the cycle continues. And I think that now we're starting to, get in touch with ourselves and say, well, that doesn't sound right for me. And like I always say, if it doesn't feel right for you, then it may not be the path for you. It may have been a path for someone before you, but it may not be the path for you. So I say this because I have family members that don't agree with what I do, okay? And they think I'm going to hell with got sleeve drawers on. But I don't think I'm going to bust hell wide open. I don't think so, because like I said, it feels right to me. So, I don't know. I don't know why some people feel like it just has to be this way. There's certain groups that just feel like this is the way it is. You do not go away from that. But, like I say, there's truth to, a lot of religions, but I find truth in every religion.
Right.
That's just who I am, though. I can be around anybody who believes anything, or if they believe nothing at all, and I can get something from their perspective, and I think that's what God is. I don't think God would just, divide us all and say, okay, well, only this group is the chosen ones, okay?
Right.
But some people in that group is raising all HELL, okay? But they're the chosen ones, okay? But then you have another group of people and they're living righteous, but they're going to HELL because they don't believe this way, It's just, I think that's, that's what men do, because they have to find a way to control it so that they can believe it. But I honestly feel like you just have to walk your own path, because everybody has a path back to God, but it's not the same path for everybody. So I say, forget them, screw them.
It's frustrating
if
when
they
you
can't
talk.
get with the program, screw them.
That's right. It's frustrating talking to, some people, because I feel like they just look at God as being so small, and there just has to be an infinite bigness of it. So for people to say, well, it has to be this way. No. God is huge, but all
And
right.
it's upstairs.
This is a random question. If you could compare your very first reading to a song, what would it be?
Okay, when you asked me this, girl, I was cracking up to myself.
I knew
I'm
I
tell
knew
you
it
the
would go like, I was like,
out.
she gonna love that.
Girl, I was like, oh, let me see. Oh Lord. But no, the song that came to my mind was T-Pain song, I Can't Believe It. That's what song came to my mind. Because I couldn't believe it.
Okay. That's a goodie.
And I still can't. Sometimes I still shock myself. I do. I am amazed. But I think that's how life should be. It should be that way. You shouldn't know everything you're going to do every day. When I was working, in corporate, I knew what time I was going to get to work, where I was going to go, what I was going to eat for breakfast. My life was mapped out all the way down to the end of the day. And that's not living. You're supposed to have twists and turns and, all these different things that happen. And then once you get towards the end of your life, you're like, dang, look at all that I've done. I went here, I traveled there, I met these people, I worked there, that's how life should be. But yeah, I definitely cannot believe it at all.
So I wanna sneak one more question in, because I know you're always getting requests for readings and things like that. What's kind of the thing that you're constantly having to remind people when you do readings? Is there something that, us as people, we're just kind of missing all the time? Or, is there something where you're just like, man, if I could just tell everybody just this one thing, it would make a lot of people's lives easier, because this keeps coming up over and over in the questions that I get.
Girl, don't be having people try to jump me after the show. No.
I just mean like,
don't try to get me set up. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I'm just playing. I know exactly what you mean, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, because I gotta tell you the truth. The thing I always try to remind people about are the lessons of life. And I even started incorporating that more into the readings, because, it does get redundant talking about the boo, talking about, what's going on with the other person. But then we don't look at ourselves to see, why did you go through that experience? Every experience that we go through is something to learn from that. And so I always can give people clarity about, what they're going through, when I can get them to see the lesson, their part they played in the relationship. Because I always say, did nobody just hijack a plane and come crashing into your life, okay? You had to open up the door and say, hey, boo, hey, and let them in. So, okay, but there's lessons to learn, it's something to learn from every person, and even the people that do you wrong, because those are the biggest lessons, because when you think about it, after a person does you wrong, you get in go mode most of the time. You're like, listen, I need to go and get my hair cut. I need to go burn up a truck or two, and I need to go back to school, and I will show that piece of jerk, okay? That's what we do. So that's what spirit knows. Like, you need that to push you, to push you forward, because otherwise you wouldn't change. So that's something that I always have to tell people about, is the lesson. And when doing tarot, if you're thinking about doing tarot or whatever it is you want to do, we have to remember that it is divine guidance. It's not meant to play peekaboo on the boo, okay? Right. Even though we can do that, but it's meant to help you on your path. It talks about the fool's journey through life. And, your relationship, it's a part of it. But there's a lot of bigger things that, you need to address too. So, yeah, I'm always telling people about the lessons. Always.
Y'all hear that? Learn your lessons. Learn your lessons. All right. Awesome.
Are you going to repeat it again? go back to third grade.
You know, sometimes we just do. I don't know why, but sometimes we just do repeat it. It's so crazy. Like you said, sometimes you really need to be knocked over the head, made to feel uncomfortable, and pushed out of the
Yeah.
nest. So I want to thank you so much for your time. What do you have going on? What can we support? What can we keep our eyes peeled for?
Okay, so this weekend we're going to Florida, right?
I saw the retreat.
Did you hear about the? Yes, we're
Yep.
going to the retreat this weekend. So me and Mystic Beauty, she's another YouTuber here on YouTube. We're going to do the Divine Feminine Retreat. Okay, so we're going to do a little turn up and then we're going to do a little burn up. Okay, we're going to burn the old and we're going to turn up for the new. Okay. So that's going to be fun. Also, I have the second channel, which is the You Be the Light channel. And that's where I talk about the lessons, okay? So a lot of times I know people want to just hear about the love stuff. So Can Be the Light is still about the love and, all the foolishness that we get into because, I'm going to cut up with that. But, at the end of the day, the You Be the Light channel is for people who actually are tired of the lesson. Like, okay, I'm ready to start learning. How do I do it? So we do homework over there. I know.
That's awesome.
We have
I love
books
that.
over there. So, work going. Yes, yes. And I just started the channel, so you can't really type it in to find it. So you have to go underneath each video, and I'll leave the link underneath the videos so that you can get into healing and motivating yourself, learning how to motivate and encourage yourself, build yourself up. So that's another thing I got going. Then I'm working on a tarot deck, so I'm going to start my own tarot deck.
Very cool. That is awesome. So
Yeah.
when do you have?
So if you know any artists, yeah, I just started. I'm looking for an artist, somebody that's really, really good, because this is something that I feel like is going to be very major. Like this is a deck that Spirit has put on my heart to make. And I've been thinking about it. I've been writing it out and I'm just ready for it to just, to come into fruition. So I'm looking for a specific type of artist. And I know this Spirit will bring that person on my path. But once I find the artist, it's on.
That is awesome. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that. I know a couple of people that I would love to get some for. Like I said, you got a couple of fans in my circle, and obviously, so hopefully they'll be out by Christmas, maybe.
Hey,
oh yeah.
I don't know. I gotta see because honestly, I have been, looking into some artists, because really that's the main thing, it's just finding someone that can create the vision,
Right.
I can hear, I can tell you, but then I need an artist who can take what I say and actually put it on the card, and when I see it, I'll know for sure this is it. So that's what I'm looking for right now. But yes, definitely. It's going to be big. And then also I'm coming up with the online store. So I'll start selling, different things that I use for my own self, to help people with healing, because it comes a point in the experience where, okay, you get tired of hearing about the other person. And Spirit knows that. So at the beginning, you want to hear about the person every day. And you're, addicted to the readings, right? And then it comes a point where you're like, you know what, forget Can and forget him too. I'm sick of this, okay? Then you start the healing. So then once you get to that point, I want to be able to help with that, also. So I'm going to open up the online store within the next couple months. That'll be open. And, we'll have things that we can purchase there or you can purchase there. And then a physical store here in Atlanta.
Well, cousin, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on the show. You officially made me a cool person in my family. So
you're so cool. You're so cool.
Thank you so much. And we will definitely be supporting Can Be the Light online. Subscribe to her. She's on YouTube, and You Be the Light. That's where you're going to get your real growth from. So we'll definitely be supporting that for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're so pretty, girl, with those lashes. You look so smart.
I'm starting to get the hang of this video thing. How you doing? I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know that you are in love with Can now, okay? So make sure you check out all of her videos. I'm telling you, this girl drops gems, seriously, in like the funniest way, but she really does. It's CanbetheLight.info if you want to check out, more of, she's going to be doing retreats. She's adding things to her platform, so make sure you check out for that. And then on all the social media platforms is CanbetheLight. Guys, I love the love. Thank you so much for supporting me. I'm going to continue to support you. Make sure you email the show if you have any topics that you want me to cover. I do have some things coming up, some pretty interesting things coming up. But if you have ideas, you think you want me to tackle something, SpicyPecanPodcast at Gmail, SpicyPecanPodcast on all the social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I am on Instagram. Not really incorporating a whole lot outside of that. It's busy enough. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Be blessed.
Thank you for listening to Spicy Pecan Podcast. This is a wonderful new media